is she a dance mom or a dance con? No parents. This happened because of this.
Yeah, I know.
They were out doing their meet and greets, making all this money, bags and bags of money. In the meantime, they're collecting unemployment from the government for a job that they never had. Contract was so binding. Mommy was at work at home. I took the kids. I slept in the rollaway and I had 3 kids on one bed, 3 kids on the other.
Your mom is there.
Your mom was there. I heard with my own ears my attorney later down the line into the phone about you would have never gotten away with this crap if she wasn't in Pittsburgh. Like that's what happened. I forget about the money. It limited hopes and dreams, opportunities. But the biggest thing that happened there in prison, and the thing that affected me forever, is that I was abruptly taken off my medication.
Hey guys, we're here at Calamigos Beach Club in Malibu with the lovely Abby Lee Miller.
Yes, and I'm with James for Lyfe on Maas.
You're so cute, I love you.
Yes, there's peanuts in it. I mean, I know people are allergic to peanuts. It's like a big kid thing now. Whatever, pick them out.
It's because they didn't have them.
And then this is so good. I like the fancy stuff, but man, those fries are really good. I'm not a fry girl.
Oh, yeah.
It's my Christmas.
Is it really?
Yes.
You bought it for yourself?
It's Christmas. Yeah.
I would like that on me. Like, but that's, really, I've always wanted like an eternity band with that.
Here's the thing, is
doing too badly then.
I got a ring from a guy. I've only gotten
A guy?
3 rings in my life from a man. One was the guy that gets the credit for creating Dance Moms. He gave me this little plastic Mickey Mouse ring that I still have, and I lose everything, and I still have it. And then I was engaged briefly, and
For how long?
I don't even know. Briefly.
We got a ring, yes.
And I got that ring, but I gave it back. And then because we didn't part on bad terms, we parted on wonderful terms. And my very dear friend, Steven, gave me a ring for Christmas.
This Steven? Really?
Yes.
Oh my God, when do I get a ring, Steven?
So I don't have a ring
Which
because
ring
it's
is it?
silver. It's silver. I wore gold today.
So she hates it.
But you like my I'm trying to be beachy. I was trying to be beachy.
No,
at
I
the
think it's
beach
very
club.
fabulous. You're pulling it off better than I am, actually. I got waxy black jeans on. They're hot.
They're hot, yes. So those were my 3 rings in my life, and I was engaged to a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful man. And he's good looking and he's hot. So in the show Dance Moms, in that career, post my regular teaching career, there were some highs, some wonderful things, and some lows. And they were pretty ugly lows. So my mother was dying, literally in hospice care, laying there day after day. And Kelly Hyland from the show, one of the moms, sued me for $5 million.
What?
And it was everywhere.
And this was in the show, or like at the height of the show?
Not the, well, I don't know when the height was, because I never saw any paperwork or any money, or I was getting screwed on money
from the show
every day. Yeah. So she had attacked me, assaulted me physically, grabbed my hair, yanked it, all that. And everybody thinks that I pressed charges against her. And that was not true.
You think that you would? She's the one suing you.
Yes, but to explain it, it was the state of New York pressed charges against her. Like came and took her to jail and put her through the process and took a mugshot and everything.
For assaulting you?
For assaulting me, yes. So it wasn't like I had to say, oh, I don't want to press charges, or oh, yeah, I do want to. It wasn't me personally going after her like a civil suit.
It had already been called in.
It was,
and it's a,
it's public.
Yeah.
Right? They pressed charges,
Yeah.
which Abby Lee Miller had to go to New York City, to the Bronx, 3 times to go back to court. 3 times.
Because you're a witness to it, or you're there.
I'm the victim. So I had to fly there, or drive, but I flew there.
Did they fly you?
But no, stay in a hotel, Okay, it gets better. Stay in a hotel. Now I can't go to New York and stay in a hotel and not go to New York.
Like, I'm the victim here. I'm being victimized again. I'm
yes,
having to pay for hotels.
I am. I'm being victimized again. You say some very intelligent things. Yes, sometimes. And 3 times. Yeah. And when I go, I have to see a Broadway show. I have to. Yeah. I can't be in New York and not see a show. Sometimes 2 or 3 in a weekend, and depending on what day I had to go to court. And I have to shop. I'm going to go to the big Macy's in Herald Square.
So this is an expensive trip
for
you.
And then I have to go down the garment district and buy fabric and rhinestones and sequins and appliques for the studio that we needed.
Your New York trips are so much more fruitful than mine.
Yes,
you get a lot done.
And I get a lot done and see some friends and some former students. And so I'm spending like minimum $1,500 a pop to go back to court.
So being assaulted is expensive.
Yes, so being assaulted is expensive.
Did they end up charging her?
No, the judge retired after 3 visits. He just didn't want to deal with it because her attorneys were demanding the footage from the TV show because she was saying that she didn't do that and I struck back and blah, 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 and that she wanted the real footage, not the edited footage. And in reality TV, I don't know if you know this, I know you're involved with a lot of reality TV people, but it's considered news. They fall under the same legal.
One is news?
Yes, it's considered news, and so they do not give the footage. Like they don't have to give it to the court. So had the judge demanded it or subpoenaed it, it would have changed the laws in the United States of all reality TV.
But it didn't go that way because he.
It didn't go that way because he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to dig that up.
And what was her name?
Kelly Hyland. She was a student of mine, actually.
She was the student.
She was in my very first. She was a mom in the show. She was a student at my very, very first when I was 14 years old, and I auditioned the kids in my mom's studio. She was a student, and she auditioned to be in the dance company, and she was an original member.
And then she brings her kids back. I'm grateful.
And brings her kids back, and then sits upstairs and brags about how she walked right by the front desk and she's not paying. Well, I'm not paying this. I don't have to pay that. Blah, 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 blah.
Poor child.
And she's the only one that actually did sit there and did say awful, horrible things. And I remember my lovely...
Does that really hurt when you've known someone for that long? I mean, obviously it does.
Yes.
But then brings their kid in.
I knew the level of education. I knew that she wasn't really well educated, and she kind of had a nice and loving and...
Why was she so mad?
Had everything. I think she was just... I think there was some inside bitterness that she never made it. Like she never finished her dance career.
Well, so you have to take that on for every single person that doesn't make it.
Well, no, but her dad was wonderful, and he was divorced, and he was wonderful, and he was buddies with my dad, and he kept, every time he had a girlfriend that had a kid, he'd bring her to the studio. So he paid tuition for like 30 years straight, the poor guy. He was great, and very laid back, and he was a builder. He'd build these big, beautiful homes, like one at a time, and so growing up as a child, they would live in the house that he built. Then they'd live there till it sold. Then the next house was built, and they would move. But he was building these one at a time out of pocket. Yeah. Then they'd sell it. Then they'd have money to build. The next one would be built. So the kids had to learn that their bedrooms were spotless. Like everything was always in its place because it was a show home they were living in.
Well, you think they'd be more disciplined then?
You would think. You would think. And
sounds like a great
well, here's what happened though, and these are some of the scandals that I'll use on my next show because dance moms didn't listen to me and they didn't want to use them. So what it came down to is her mother, who was divorced, fine, had an affair with another kid's dad in the same group. In the same group, and the girl was really good. She was better than Kelly a little bit. Kelly was beautiful. Kelly was beautiful. No, this whole thing. This is years ago. So anyway,
there needs to be a show within that show.
So we would go to the dance convention, and it's in a hotel ballroom, and those two would go up and get a room all day, and no one knew this was going on.
And so he had a wife.
Yes, in the studio. He had a daughter in the studio. Like? Her name was Jennifer Tomasino. She was good.
And she was nice.
She was really good.
She
the kid,
didn't know.
She was fine. But when it all came to a head and exploded, that her dad was cheating on her mom and having an affair with Kelly's mom, both kids quit. I lost both students over these parents doing this stuff.
Juicy.
So it was great. And well, it was juicy, but I think Kelly sat in that studio and looked at her daughter Brooke and that could be me. That could be me. Or she's going to make it. She's going to be the best. She's going to have this wonderful career and go to New York and go to there and there, and it didn't happen.
And then it harbors the resentment. I feel like that happens a lot, doesn't
Well,
it?
when the judge threw the case out of court, finally, the new judge, he just threw it out. She got like some kind of, I don't want to misspeak, but she got some kind of anger management stuff she had to go to or whatever. But then she had her daughter sue me, 13-year-old daughter sue me for $5 million.
The 13-year-old daughter, how does that work?
I don't know. She did it. But the judge threw it out of court again. However, that was the moment, getting back to the story, that was the moment when this gentleman, we said, let's get married. And the best part, I didn't get to plan too much because I didn't want to get that crazy because my mom was dying. But it was kind of like he did it for her. So that she would,
no wonder you
she
get
would,
bring back when it didn't work out.
oh, she knew that I would be okay. Like she knew I had someone that I would be okay.
That's
and he did that. He didn't do it that way. I shouldn't say that. Yes, he shouldn't do it. I mean, he didn't really do it because of my mom. He did it to pull the attention away from this lawsuit for $5 million. Again, the daughters, he was like, woo, Abby gets married. Suddenly nobody cares about that. And it's all about a wedding and engagement and this and that. Yeah. So that's all. He was smart. It worked.
And so it didn't work out just because then it was too soon, too quick, and yeah.
And he was gay. So
so he he loved you.
Well, I mean,
That's
I know
cool.
gay guys that are married.
Yeah, they're best friends with their wives. It almost works better than actual marriage.
It does.
Right?
It does.
If only that would have kept working out. I mean, you could just go sleep with whoever you want. I'm married to you and I love you.
Right.
You know?
It's not true. A check comes home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is a typical day in the life for you in LA? What happens? You wake up,
Nothing.
nothing. At the moment?
I'm like a typical LA person. I don't do anything.
Wake up at lunchtime.
I know.
You do a lot.
Well,
Get up, you've got, you're in Santa Monica. So work at the moment is like Zoom class, morning, Zoom
yes.
class.
I shouldn't have said nothing.
That's all right.
No. I do classes. I teach technique, legs and flexibility, acrobatics, all over the world. I absolutely love it. Sitting in my ass on a chair, teaching kids to dance. I'm so good at it.
Post-pandemic better than?
Post-pandemic, yeah. And why wasn't I doing it all the time?
Right.
When I think back to the TV show, in my studio in Pittsburgh with the cameramen and the sound people and their filthy shoes on my floors and all that, why did we not have that TV set up and have kids zooming in from all over the world while those kids that were on the show were in class? Right. Could you imagine the money that people would have paid to be in class with those kids?
Yeah.
In my studio virtually?
Well, we were forced to kind of pivot, into these Zoom worlds. But do you think that people would, even now that we've seen all that, do you think that if the world opens back up tomorrow and you're back in and everyone, do you think they want to be in person? Or, I mean, a lot of them are overseas, so you're able to do it. Would you go back do you think it's as effective?
James?
Yeah.
I literally think it's better for some kids. It's better. And depending on what you're teaching, it's better. I'm very hands-on, so I miss getting that leg and rotating that hip under and doing that kind of stuff. In acrobatics, a lot of beginner kids need spotted.
Yeah.
However, when they're in a big class and I'm zooming in to a classroom, like a dance studio in Pittsburgh, and all the kids are in class, it's very difficult to say, oh, who is that over there? Right. Who's standing behind so-and-so? Like the kids are kind of hiding, some of them that don't want to get called out for corrections. And the ones that do are right up in the front in your face on the screen. So when each kid is individual and they're in their living room or their bedroom.
So it's like they're getting private one-on-ones.
Exactly.
They're highlighted on the screen. You know exactly where they are, what they're doing.
And yes.
You just can't slap them around.
I know. I can't slap them around. But verbally I can. And the other reason I love Zoom, no parents.
Oh.
They have to shut their mic off. They're on mute. And every once in a while, I'll say to a child that's maybe struggling with something, I'll say, is anybody with you? Is anyone there in the room with you, or you're by yourself? Can you get them to stand up? I'm going to show them how to spot you on this. And you'll see a mom like turn and like look into the camera like, I'm here. So they're listening to everything I'm saying.
Does that put more pressure on the kids then, and then they're worried because
no, they don't.
Your point about the mums not being there is a huge thing, so that's great. You don't have to deal with them.
It's wonderful. I don't have to deal with them. Plus, they hear me, my voice, what I'm telling their child, and it's either the same thing that their dance studio teacher told them, or it's completely different, and no one's ever told them that before. But they're seeing the education. They're hearing the education. They're hearing Abby Lee Miller be a real teacher, a good teacher.
Record it, and then so they have that to go home with. Because it's hard to remember. You can't take notes in the middle of dance, you know. Right. And so they have that.
They have it
Is
forever.
It cheaper not in person?
Way.
So then it's
less
more
expensive.
Accessible. Okay, you're killing it post-pandemic.
It's $20.22 to take my class. It's 2022.
Go out there and sign up to Abby's class. So your morning skincare routine, I like to know what people use that can afford to, well, you know, and you're in the public eye. So what's some skin tips? What do you use? I'm assuming that you don't do much, not the way that you're looking at me, not from the look of your skin.
I have a banged up nose, and I'll explain that.
If you didn't point it out to me, I wouldn't notice.
My skincare routine is wake up, get out of bed. That's a whole 15 minutes there. Putting shoes on. I have to put shoes on before I stand up, or my feet will slide out from under me and I'll fall.
Oh, shit.
So I have to get my legs around, get in the walker, stand up, transfer to the chair. Used to have to slide over, but now I can stand up. And then wheel into the bathroom and brush my teeth first, brush my gums second, different brush, and then...
Good hygiene.
Well, no, it's because you're getting older and your gums start to recede. Okay, and then I wash my face with, I take water. No, I just go like this and I throw water on it and I dab it.
I think there's something to be said for that then, because people always say that have good skin because maybe they let their own natural oils.
I usually have good skin, but I have one of those, you know, that metal rod.
The roller, derma roller.
No. It's a metal rod. There's a bunch of different ones, and it has a little loop on the end of it, and you like push it in in the pores. You get all the blackheads and the sebum. But I go crazy, and I like start to do it in your nose.
Pimple popper.
Yes, I'm a pimple popper. And the nose is the most delicate skin on your face. Is on your nose, because your nose keeps growing and the skin doesn't.
It does?
Yes, forever. Your nose grows forever.
Well, my nose hairs grow forever. That's all I know so far.
I know. You have to get them waxed.
Don't. You saw them already?
No, I haven't. You get them waxed?
No, I don't. I wouldn't. I can't even.
You take it's like a popsicle stick in it. Oh yeah, but you get a popsicle stick and they put the wax on it and shove it up your nose and they hold it and they're talking to you and they go and they rip it out.
Oh no, I can't do that. It
crazy.
Makes me cry and my sneezing. Oh.
Okay, so yeah. My biggest thing is washing off the toothpaste that's all over my face. And then I go
Thank you for doing that this
and
morning.
then I go to the ladies' room and it's a whole...
So makeup keeps your skin moist or your skin just does it itself?
It's not moist, it's really dry. Really dry.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
I think
it is.
there's something to be said for that. Someone once said to me, people that use all the products on their face makes your face stop thinking it needs to produce any of it. So then you have dry skin because you do too much to it. If you're going to exfoliate all the time, then your skin's going to grow more and get dry. And it's going to need it. Whatever you do to it, it should be self-replenishing.
I don't do anything, and I'm going to say this carefully. I sleep with my makeup on.
No zits.
And I can wake up.
You look like this in the morning, or is it a bit small?
Nope, I can wake up the next day.
Really?
The only thing is under my eyes
Is
a little
this
bit.
yesterday's makeup?
So yeah, some of it.
Okay, that's a good tip then. Do nothing at all.
And if I'm going in the sun, I take all my makeup off really well. And use
Do you
those
love
little
to tan
wipes.
your brown?
I love to lay in the sun.
Me
But I
too.
love the water. I'd rather be in the pool
Yeah.
reading a magazine or a book or working on my choreography in the swimming pool. I would stay in the pool forever.
Are you able to get in the pool at this point and hold yourself with flotation? Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
I just haven't because the weather hasn't been good.
All
enough.
right.
We live in California, in Santa Monica. It should be weather perfect every minute of every day. Like when you go to Miami, you go to the Fontainebleau and you go out to the back, the weather's perfect. It could be raining everywhere else, it doesn't matter.
And the water is so warm. Just
Beautiful.
Always.
Yes.
So you recently had a nip and a tuck.
Yes, I'm working with Inside Edition. You know, the news, the celebrity news thing. So I'm working with Inside Edition and we did a little nip tuck with the doctor in Beverly Hills and you'll have to wait and see the results.
Ooh, can't wait.
I wanted to have a lot more done. You know, when I came out of prison, I had lost 127 pounds, worked super hard. Well, didn't work hard. I mean, I walked and I used weights and my
you were
arms.
still mobile in prison, like totally, right?
Yeah, this happened because of prison.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
So while you were in there, did you work out a lot?
I did.
Did you used to love to work out?
No.
No.
No,
I mean,
I
who
didn't.
loves working out? But
then I would try to, some days I just couldn't do it. So then I would do was I'd make deals with myself. So I would lay in the sun. I'd sit in a dinky little plastic chair, sit in it and put my feet up on a rock, like on rocks to make, and I'd read a chapter. So I made a deal with myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to read the chapter and then I'm going to walk a lap. Then I'm going to read another chapter.
Oh,
Then I'm going to
good.
walk another lap. Then I'm going to read 2 chapters. I'm going to walk 2 laps. So I read 150 books in prison.
Ooh.
And I used to pick up rocks and use them
What
for
do you-
weights. And I would do, as I walked, I would do
Did they have a
this.
gym in there?
No. Well, they had like a workout. Yeah, they did. They had like bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do that. I wanted like to be outside.
Was it an all-women gym? I mean, that's how. I mean, all women
Oh,
gym.
all women?
Yeah,
Yes.
all
All
women prison.
women gym in the prison and all women in the prison.
Anyone nice that you met there that you?
Yes.
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 Really nice people.
Yes. Michelle, my bestie,
Oh, that's nice. And
Eve,
do you see
so smart,
them-
so wonderful. And, oh my God, they're going to kill me.
Do you
I
see
can't
them
remember everyone's
now?
names.
Like you see anyone?
I
now?
have seen them.
You starred in your own countless reality series. You're an icon in the field. What was it like going from Pittsburgh to Hollywood?
Oh, it was trouble.
Yeah.
That's when I feel like the show lost so much.
Yeah.
You know, in Pittsburgh, there wasn't anything to do. Well, I guess you could have an affair, but I didn't know that. That wasn't what I was doing. So those moms, with the exception of the one I just spoke about, they didn't hang at the studio. Dr. Holly, she was never at that studio. The child, Nia, her grandfather brought her. Lovely, lovely man. He would bring her in and see what she needed or whatever. He was great. And then the mother would stop by randomly at different times when the child wasn't even there dancing and pay her bill. Like, no problem as a customer. She was a good customer. And Nia, she was at school. She was a principal in our city, like in the city. And we were out in the suburbs. So she could never get home in time to get Nia to take her to the studio or anything. So that was her scoop. And then the other moms, I don't think anybody really worked. Like Jill and her, no, they didn't work. But they once the show started, they used to file for unemployment. I used to crack up. We'd be off for literally 1 month, like 4 weeks.
then they'll file.
And Kirsty's filing for unemployment.
Well, I mean, there's no so they have no shame in that game.
No, but while
No.
they were getting unemployment, they were out doing their meet and greets, making all this money, bags and bags of money. In the meantime, they're collecting unemployment from the government for a job that they never
I
had.
wonder why that never gets out. That's not public record.
Probably, yeah.
See, hello, unemployment, fraud, whatever they were. I mean,
Yeah. So,
we'll get to that.
so me going to Hollywood, well, me living out here was great. Me opening a dance studio out here was stupid.
Yeah.
Dumbest
In what
thing I
way?
ever did. Well, I couldn't find a space. I wanted to be on the west side where people could pay their bills, afford. I didn't want to be teaching like in the area where kids who wanted to be famous were going to come, like that over in North Hollywood and Burbank, where all those kids, those people don't have a dime to rub against the other.
Well,
they're
they've
leaving
already
their
seen
homes.
the show at this point too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be on the west side where I'd get celebrities and doctors and lawyers and everybody's kids that could pay their bill. Just come in, put your credit card on file. And I wanted the kids to come like 3 days a week and be there from 4:30 to 9:30 at night and train them properly.
Yeah.
And they would get acrobatics and gymnastics and musical theater all in one stop, right? Didn't happen.
Well, it's a serious operation.
It didn't, it didn't happen. And I had a 10,000 square foot facility. I built it out for $450,000. And the rent, you ready? You're not sitting down. Dun, 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 dun. The rent was $29,000 a month. That's before I turned on the light or paid anybody.
How many staff do you need in this size?
It was, we had probably like 15 staff members that were in and out. Like somebody would teach there was 3 rooms. So each day you had 3 classes going on at the same time.
People? Why were like what?
There were people there. There were people there. They just
Couldn't pay their bills?
No, they could pay their bills. They just didn't. Well, some of them scammed out, but they could not commit like to those hours. You know, they had to have dinner, and the kid had to go to camp, and they had to do the horseback riding lessons, and they had to do swim. Like it.
So it was more like a hobby. They weren't trying to be serious.
It was more like a hobby. So when you come in and take one day and you take 2 hours hip hop and gymnastics, you're not paying the amount of money, like the max amount, and coming 3 days. And people came from far away. We had people driving 2 hours to get to class, and then 2 hours back at night, and they were there for 5 hours. Do you see what I'm saying? So then, little by little, they would drop the last class because it was too late to get home, and they dropped the first class because they couldn't get there in time. So stuff like that. Then I was indicted by the federal government. So how am I going to pay for this studio while I'm not here? And we wanted to keep our retail store.
That's such a that's like hemorrhaging funds at the time. Like,
it is, because I put that much into it, but my lease was only for 2 years, so I never got the money back out of building all the stuff.
That's
you know? Yes.
At the height of the show's popularity, what are some of your fondest memories, and what are some of the worst memories?
Well,
the show comes out, it's a couple of years in, your name is everywhere, aside of buses, and you're excited, and you're a celebrity, a big one, in a big way.
My fondest, best moments really aren't on the show and have nothing to do with the show. It was appearing on Jimmy Fallon. Great, he was so kind to me. And like, he really watched the show. He's telling the story on air of his wife, before they had children, laying in bed at night watching the show, and they would see, and he's telling me this is his words. He said Holly would get up, Dr. Holly would get up, and she'd start down the steps. He said my wife and I would be in bed, and we were like, pull the covers up, like, no, Holly, don't go in the door, no, don't go in the, don't touch the door, Holly, no, don't interrupt her, no, it's gonna be bad for Nia, don't do it. So there's a stranger guy, no kids, watching the show, knowing that Holly, I'm gonna get in a fight with her, knowing that before she touches the door, they're telling her don't touch the door.
I love that, he's a fan.
And he was a huge fan, and that was so kind and wonderful. My other fondest moment would be, and even though the interview was a little rough, the interview was tough, was Rosie O'Donnell. Meeting. I had met her previously a couple times.
You guys are friends now?
Yes, and then I did the interview with her, so we remained friends. But I think the interesting fact that I learned, and that is the reason we're friends today, is because Rosie said to me, if I didn't succeed as a comic, if this life didn't work out for me, I would have owned a dance studio.
Really?
We have friends hammering. I would have owned a dance studio or like a musical theater school or something like that. That's what I would have done. And she doesn't advertise this. People don't know this about her, but she has a huge school in New York City that she funds completely.
So she's just
They go into the schools and they get, I think it's first, second, and third graders, and they teach them dance for free. in the city schools, and then, or maybe it's 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I don't know, but when the kids got older, they're kind of out of the program, and they wanted to keep doing it. They wanted to continue this. So then she buys this big warehouse building in New York City, hires somebody full time to run it, and now she has a dance studio there.
And so she's sweet to you. You guys are friends.
So
now.
yeah, so that's kind of like the connection is that type of thing, you know. And she has some good friends that
And was she a fan of the show, even though she wasn't like loving the?
I don't think she was a fan of the reality show part. I think she was a fan of the dancing.
Yeah.
So anyway, Rosie O'Donnell, Jimmy Fallon, hosting The View, co-hosting The View. Me, Abby Lee Miller, co-hosting The View. Yes.
Oh, what year was that?
I don't know. Then there were so many low points. I couldn't pick things out. The one huge issue all during the success of the show was that my contract was so binding.
Did you sign it up at the very beginning and then it was never renegotiated?
Yeah, a pen was put in my hand.
What agent was doing?
No, nobody. And somebody stuck a pen in my hand and said, "You have to sign this. You have to."
Really got you.
It was like $1,500 an episode for 4 years. But the money aside, to some people, $1,500 a week would be amazing.
Yeah, but
in the where I was in my life, it was amazing for me.
You have to go out and promote it. You have to also then be a public figure that everyone has an opinion on. You
Yeah,
have to.
I know.
It's not worth.
When I went into it, I didn't know that. And when I looked at the first episode and we watched it, I leaned over to Gianna and I said, "Nobody is going to watch this shit. This is awful. So enjoy the ride while we're here." That was it. That was my feeling after seeing the first episode. I was like, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen." Like the editing and the show, and they changed the music, in post.
Did it get better? Was there ever a season that you liked and thought this is entertaining? This is entertaining. So you're just desensitized to the way that you are because that's just you being you, right?
And that's just me being me. I was horrified.
Great,
I was horrified at some of the other scenes that went on
Yeah.
that I didn't know about I didn't know they were happening at the time. Then I see them. As far as all the dressing room drama with the moms and the kids and everything, that was a lot of chaos. But that really didn't bother me because that was me being me, And I don't need
that's why it makes it work because you were authentic. And then
but I don't need to be huggy and kissy and warm you up and do your hair and your makeup when your mother's there to do it.
Yeah.
Now, normally I would have that bond with those kids because the kids would travel with me all over the country without their moms. Mommy was at work, at home. I took the kids. I slept in the rollaway and I had 3 kids on one bed, 3 kids on the other.
Your mom is there.
Your mom is there. Like now a kid without their mom, I'm closer to. So let's take Maddie, who everyone thinks was the favorite. Her mother wasn't there. The kids who didn't have the mom there, or mom wasn't good at makeup, mom wasn't good at hair, mom couldn't do that, but mom was good at money, taking money in at the front desk, pretending she put it away, maybe, and put it in the drawer, and I took it home, or maybe not. But that's the kid that I helped, So then automatically the other.
It's just where it needs to be,
right? And all the mothers
going around kissing everyone just because it's like.
Yeah, but the mother's assuming, well, she's doing her makeup because she's the favorite. She's helping her with her costume because she's the favorite. No, you're standing there helping your kid. Why do I don't need to help her. This kid doesn't have anybody. I'm helping her.
It's mostly the mums, isn't it? I mean, the kids. We're all born kind of perfect until
So the low points were my contract being so controlling. I could not be on any other network but one time every season, like every 13 episodes. And then everything I wanted to do, every opportunity.
To take away all of that other opportunity and only give you $1,500, it feels like.
Right.
It's like these 360 deals that these artists get stuck into, and then all of their publishing rights and all of their everything. It's like.
I know, but don't say that because I had 360 deals with 2 kids and I didn't get a penny. It was never enforced.
Well, it's because they were able to break out of the contract. Yes. The children. Okay.
Yes.
So that wasn't fruitful.
Yeah. And then, I was asked to do the Broadway show, Chicago, to step in as Big Mama.
You were?
For 3 months. And I couldn't do it because of my contract as a filming.
Oh.
What if I was asked to co-host The View like
Why do you
for
think
a
that's
contract.
a huge thing? Is there no
Think it-
one that you could contact and have as a point
Yeah,
person?
yeah,
and
I
go,
did.
listen, what is this going to
Well-
do other than boost up my profile on the show?
I heard with my own ears, my attorney later down the line that I got, a real entertainment attorney in New York or in LA, I heard him say several times to the legal department at the network, you know darn well she would have never signed this contract this way. You know, if she was out here in LA, this contract would never have passed. You know that we would have taken out this, and this. So don't even go there. You know, like I heard him yelling into the phone about the contract and how bad it was and how I shouldn't have
just
signed
nothing.
it.
This
You would
is-
have never gotten away with this crap if she wasn't in Pittsburgh. Like that's what happened. So that limited me, not financially. I forget about the money. It limited hopes and dreams, that opportunities. And I know I'm not an ungrateful person. The opportunities came because of the show. So that I understand.
Yeah, but
that I
being able to
get.
pivot and live on, but
But being able to pivot and live on and do
what
other
if it wasn't
things.
successful and you had a next season? There could have been some other opportunities, but you weren't able to pursue them that year. So it's all really just about the one-sided. That what company made that show? Okay, we won't
Starts
say
with
it.
an L.
Okay, well that is pretty bad, and let's hope you never sign a contract again.
Like that, I
doesn't-
won't.
Yeah. Was there ever a time that you were a bit affected by Hollywood in the height of your Dance Moms fame?
What do you mean affected?
Like, is there a moment you look back on and cringe a little bit and go, like, when you tried to get a table somewhere or tried to anything?
No,
Was
there,
ever like
no, there was
No?
only one. We had a lot of celebrities, children of celebrities
Yeah.
that came to the studio. They
Yeah.
were wonderful.
Yeah.
Seal, Heidi Klum.
Oh, really?
Oh, magnificent people, wonderful, kind. Yes, so kind. Who did I teach privates to?
Oh,
Comedian.
Heidi Klum tweeted something recently, wasn't it?
Yes,
About her.
yeah, very nice. Yeah,
That's so
daughter was lovely.
nice.
Yeah, a lot of.
I hear
and
nice
there,
things about
and
that.
there would be, we had the bleachers like we do in Pittsburgh, and we built the bleachers up into the wall, and there'd be all these parents sitting over there, and I just. Some days I would come out and everyone would get excited. People run to get pictures with me, and I'm looking at all these people sitting there, thinking, I don't know who they are. They're dads and moms, but they're executives. They're
Yeah,
agents.
yeah.
They're editors. They're this. They're that.
See, we-
Shonda Rhimes' daughter. Like they're people that I don't know, but they're somebody's.
Yeah.
So
People you
that
can't
was
get into bed
grateful.
with because of these damn contracts.
Yes, yes, yes.
You sound like you had a whole Rolodex there.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Affected by Hollywood that made me cringe. No, there was only one person that was rude to me ever.
Who?
Ever. Rob Lowe.
Really?
Yes. I hate to even
What
say his
happened?
name.
Tell me.
We were at Elton John's Oscar party.
Yeah.
And I was at the table next to him.
Yes.
And I was walking. I was abled
Yeah.
at that point. And I stood up to like go to ladies' room or something, and he stood up to leave his table, and I said, oh, could I quickly get a picture, please? And he was like, no, I'm at a dinner, excuse me, and like walked away. And I was like, well, I'm at the same dinner. What are you talking about? I paid the same amount of money to get in here as you
It's a
did.
pretty public event. It's not like you're having dinner with your wife.
Yeah, and so that was it. And I know he had some scandals in his past,
Well, do you know what?
big time.
Yeah.
Didn't they used to call him Rob Blow?
Oh, yeah.
I don't
just
know. I don't know. He was just cute, and I wanted a picture. That was it. And my date was
how
way
rude.
cuter. I was with Matt Noska, a huge model.
Ooh. I'm so jealous and in awe of your social media game. Who got you into it, and how do you stay so relevant in social media? And you've mastered something that I don't feel like I'll ever get a hold of. But you're on the TikTok, you know how to do the TikTok. the TikTok. That shows you that I'm not very good at it. But you mastered them all. You go and create content at all of these hype houses and all sorts of things. But you can.
I just don't know how I became so competitive. But I'm competitive. And I'm saying this, I'm exposing myself. It makes me nuts that my students, the little kids on season 8, are like passing me, like they started with 0 subscribers on their YouTube channel, and now they have 800,000. and they did nothing. They do these stupid little
You made
pranks.
them. You made them.
I didn't make them, but
Hey,
they have the social media foundation platform because of being on a TV show every week.
Yeah.
Not because they did Radio City, New York City, Clara, or not because they bought roller skates and skated down their street in front of their house. Not because they do these little TikTok dances. They got the notoriety and the big following from being on a TV show.
I like that you say that it's your competitiveness, because then that would drive you to then go, hey, I
Right,
am going to...
and why can't they shout me out?
Yeah.
Why can't they post my dance classes? Why can't they?
Why is that? I find that there's a little bit of a strange thing about keeping up with the Joneses, but then also
Yes.
keeping the feed really clean and exactly what they want, because, I mean, it mustn't be that fun, because you can't actually post anything you want to post. It's going to be...
But on your
what do
story,
people-
why, strangers, children I don't know, but I've only had on Zoom classes, in Israel, in Mongolia, are reposting every ad for every class that we have. And I did nothing for those children. They've paid every dime. I've done nothing. But yet the kids who I had to hold and hug while mommy was fighting and they were screaming and crying, those children, it's like, oh no, I can't mess up my feed and my this and my that, and they want paid to post them.
So
I'm like,
gross.
oh.
What is the need to just forget exactly like who got you there or how it happened, and then...
Well, it's hard for me because I'm my age, but my demographic, my followers are 12, 13, 14 years old, even 11. And since the pandemic, this world global COVID thing, we have a whole entire new audience. Entire new audience. So 6, 7, 8-year-olds who were not born when the 10-year-olds who weren't even born when the show started are massive fans.
Ooh,
massive fans.
It's on Hulu and something else now.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, that's great. That must feel good. But I mean, not get.
No, because
but
they're getting the money.
Relevant,
I'm not getting anything out of it. They are, but I can flip that and use the notoriety to do cameos. I do all that kind of stuff. So it is good. I want to do a Dance Mom season 9 with someone else.
Can we get that going?
Can we?
So you and I met on the music video for Fake, and you were amazing. So we've known each other.
Gianna was amazing. I was okay.
You were amazing. So I know that you've had really similar ideas that I've been chatting to you about. I mean, I think you were pitching me an idea that you were going out with a while ago, because we've known each other for a bit, and it sounded really similar to JoJo's show, like really similar. So my question was, are you involved? Why not? And
I'm not involved. I don't know why not. I don't know. It's Hollywood.
Were you invited to be a part of the show?
No, I was not invited. Actually, I was.
So you're not.
It's hard to say. So I wasn't part of the production. I pretty much groveled, would be the word. I, on my knees, begged the producer, well, there's like 17 executive producers or something on the show, begged to be a part of the show. Not in it, not on camera. I don't want to be on camera. I want to be Debbie Allen, my hero. I want to wear a baseball cap and black sweatpants and go to work. I even said I would get lunch for the kids. Like, I'll get the right lunches, because I was on a show for 8 years and never got the right lunch. Never once did I get what I ordered. So I thought, at least let me do that. Let me do something. A consultant would have been, of course, the number one thing. Even in casting ahead of time, when they were looking at the films of the kids and the videos of the moms, even then, that's where I should have been, in a closed room somewhere where no one even knew I was working on the show.
Like a glove, though. Why wouldn't they utilize that? And you'd already been in there and pitched a show, which I think is very, very similar.
Yeah, very similar.
I was wondering at the time when it came out, I thought that maybe there was something to do with it, and I hadn't been able to speak to you about it yet. But that, and JoJo and you aren't in contact then for her to. Why do you think that would have been such?
No, we are in contact. Like, if I texted her right now and she wasn't on stage filming, she would text me right back. Like,
So she's nice.
There was
Who's
never a
in their-
problem.
who's
There's
in
never
their
been a
camp?
fallout. There's never been a problem. There's never been an argument. There's never been anything. Fine.
And that's got to kill you a little bit.
It hurt. It didn't hurt that she was doing the show.
Yeah.
This is America. Do whatever you can do. Grab. If you
don't
have
take-
25 million in the bank and you need more, go for it. That's
You're
fine.
not that kind of person that you need to keep other people down, though. It seems like
No,
you surround
yeah.
yourself with people that keep you down and leverage,
Yes.
step on your head and get up. Like,
Did you see that?
Yes.
Oh, thank
and here's
you.
the thing: it's like we can all work. Why don't we all work and all win?
Yeah, there's enough kids. There's enough networks now.
I wonder
There's
why they
enough.
find you such a threat. You must be better than them. No,
No,
serious?
I don't know, but what was so hurtful, so I was told point blank, you cannot be on set, you can't be anywhere around because you are Abby Lee Miller.
What? It would
No.
distract attention from.
I guess.
Is that a real thing? I mean, I know
I don't think so, because
think...
Debbie Allen has been in how many movies, she's done how many shows, and she goes and produces Grey's Anatomy. She's not on it. She's not. They don't go ooh,
Yeah.
and let's all jump into a dance
I feel
routine
like
because
American
Debbie Allen
Idol's
walked
happening
in.
and Mariah Carey shows up, it only makes the show better, you know, or like
Right.
gives it more attention.
Right, right. So, but I didn't want that. I wanted to be in the background. I want to be behind the scenes because don't forget, for 30 years prior to a TV show, that's what I did. I was behind the scenes. The kids were on stage, not me. But I love that child.
Yeah.
I love JoJo, and I'm so immensely proud of where she has taken herself. And she started her show on a completely different level than I started mine. You know, I started mine
paved
in
the way that you're
Pittsburgh.
supposed to respect
I paved the
that.
way. I paved the way. That's a
Like,
good.
I would always respect people in my industry. Anyone who's done anything before me and made room for me to walk straight in, or even not straight in. It's just a general respect that someone has already done it and has made a space for you. Like, people maybe were not that interested in dance shows before your show had become such a big hit.
Thank you.
I mean, you know.
Or look at the dance competitions that,
Yeah.
like those guys
Yeah.
that made
This thing
money
wouldn't have
and they
been
were
walked into a
advertised
room
on
and sold on the
TV.
table if it wasn't for your show before it.
Thank you.
You know, it wouldn't have happened like that. I was around. Like, it's like people just wouldn't have been interested. In 2016, you pleaded guilty to charges of bankruptcy fraud. Do you feel you were treated fairly? It seemed that you were pushed very harshly. I know it's something that didn't quite add up always for me, was that in the day and age of, you know, college admission scandal, all of these other things, people in the spotlight, you were handed kind of the worst case scenario in my mind.
Oh, I went to prison longer than all of this college admission scandal people combined.
Really?
All of them combined.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
Yes.
That's proved my point.
All
Yes.
of them combined. And they did something wrong.
Why do you-
I just did something stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bankruptcy fraud and then defrauding a whole entire system within the college admissions. I mean, not to compare the two.
It was bankruptcy fraud, but I had an attorney. I had a bankruptcy attorney. I had an accountant. Where the hell were they? The bankruptcy attorney sat on the stand and told the judge that I didn't sign any of the
If you
paperwork,
had-
that I didn't know that they were trying to walk away from my house in Florida. That's what it was all about. I went to prison. I was sentenced to 1 year and a day. I served 8 months because my bankruptcy attorney told Chase Bank that I was going to walk away from my home in Florida, my vacation home. Okay? That I was going to do that to get them to respond, to get them to negotiate a regular rate, because it was an adjustable rate mortgage. It's all this BS I don't even know about, and get them to negotiate a regular rate. And the rate that they did negotiate was it's either 4.7 or 4.9. Now it's like 2 something or 3 something. So that's what they negotiated down to. And so the judge said when she sentenced me, I heard him. I sat there and heard him tell her that I didn't do it. I knew nothing about it. I said, I don't want to walk away from my home. We're not doing that. Walked out of his office and he did it anyway. Okay? But he wasn't trying to walk away. He was trying to get them to respond and engage, because they just wouldn't even answer the phone. They wouldn't answer any emails, any letters, nothing. So here we
A
go.
day for that.
Yeah, so here we go. So she says, well, first of all, that I don't know his name, the public defender, the lawyer for the city, his ending statement was, is she a dance mom or a dance con? That's how he ended
What is this, courtroom
a
TV?
court case. It was courtroom TV.
Courtroom
I
TV.
think it was. So,
Does she
like,
dance
I'm
on?
like, and I'm digging my hands under the table into my attorney's leg, like, say something. And then she said, I sent you to a year and a day because had Chase Bank known that you were on a television show, they would have never negotiated that rate so low. That was why I went to prison. Because how can you
So
make
why
a
do you-
statement like if anyone at Chase Bank knew you were on a TV show? No one knew. No one watched the show. All the Chase Banks in all the country. Really? Come on.
Why do you think you were made such a...
Because of the way I was depicted on the show. And I was somebody that filed for bankruptcy over the property taxes on my building because I didn't know about it for 3 years. It was never put into escrow when we refinanced, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's why I declared bankruptcy. My dad had perfect credit. He's so ashamed of me, I know. But it happened, and I did that. I shouldn't have. I should have borrowed $1,000 from 37 people and paid that $37.
Still, punishment doesn't really fit the crime, though.
No. So anyway, I do it, fine. And then, I'm trying to think where this is going. The city spent $4 million. $4 million. And my fine for this whole thing was $45,000. So the city spent so much money to go after someone that made good, right? Who goes into bankruptcy in Pittsburgh that pays back everybody 100% on the dollar? 100%. And if anybody had late fees or fines or something they wanted to slap on me, we paid that too. You know, people don't get out of it and make good that quick. I declared bankruptcy December 10th, right? 2010, I think it was. 4 months later, 4 months, I started a TV show and started paying everyone back. So nobody does that. Nobody gets out of bankruptcy and makes good. Melissa went bankrupt, her and her husband, for the second husband, for $3.2 million and didn't pay a dime back. So
I feel like
they were just out to get me because of the way I was depicted on the show, instead of throwing a freaking parade for the kids and I in the city of Pittsburgh.
It really does seem like it's like you're the villain on a show for some people, and you know, it was their way of getting back at you. Is that this woman did this thing? Oh, we got her. We finally got her.
Yes.
And we can real life play out this scenario where we finally get the bad woman.
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
It's so weird how things were like that work when you're a public figure, and these things can have a turn of events like life imitating art. I mean, it's like...
Yes, from your outside point of view,
Yeah.
and knowing me, it's just
Oh,
insane, isn't it?
Yes.
And then I read 150 books. I lost 127 pounds. I lived rent-free in LA for 8 months. I didn't.
Taxpayers, $4 million plus
And they spent $4 million plus. Now they're paying for 3 meals a day and a roof over my head and clothes on my body. Your taxes, everyone's. And wouldn't you rather have me out working, paying taxes?
Yeah. No,
On
that's
the money I was
that's
making?
someone's personal weird thing with the
Yes.
show and trying to. I mean, that seems pretty cut and dry.
Yeah. So that's that. That's
I would be
that. But
losing
the biggest thing that happened there in prison, and the thing that affected me forever, is that I was abruptly taken off my medication. Not weaned off of it slowly for like a year. I was abruptly taken off all my diabetes medication and all my thyroid medication.
Why would they take that off you? Why would they just? Are they allowed to make that assessment that you don't need it cold turkey?
Well, they're saying because I lost the weight, I didn't need it then. But that's not how any doctor knows. Those are medications that your body's weaned off of. So that is what sent my body crazy.
Surely you can Google that, and it's the adverse side effects to going cold turkey.
Yes.
Most things.
Yeah, and then I had a pain in the back of my neck.
Shock. Yeah, to your body.
2 weeks. A week after I got out, the pain started. 1 week to the day. And I have a documentary coming out about that.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh.
Right now it just has a funny little title that we're using just right now. It's a working title.
What is it?
How Lifetime Ruined My Life.
Oh, I love it.
So that's not going to be the title, but
Well, on a positive note, then that's what we have to look forward from
Yes.
you in the future. What do you want to accomplish? What are you doing? You got this documentary.
I have a documentary coming out. It's amazing, and then Names are named.
Is it coming out?
People are named.
Ooh.
Doctors are named.
Gee.
Prison personnel are named. Yes.
Nice. Ooh.
Yes.
I
Yes.
can't wait. Is it coming out this year?
Yes. It's summer. It'll be out this summer.
Good. Oh, nice.
Okay, and then I have a scripted dance show with a paranormal twist to it.
Paranormal twist?
Yes,
I haven't heard this one.
It's interesting. It's like a young adult show, you know, that.
Good. So you're
like-
going to go out and pitch that?
Yes,
You got that
yeah,
ready?
that's all ready. Characters,
And-
everything is ready.
And so what would you hope to have for this new year?
It's called Dancing with the Dead.
Dancing with the Dead.
Yes.
That I'm so curious about that.
I get
Makes me
chills
wanna
when I
ask-
think
it
about
makes
it.
me want to ask you about
I can't-
exactly
no, we
what's
can't
about,
talk
but
about
let's
it.
not go there again and give any
No.
of those ideas away.
No.
Yeah.
And then I have another show that has nothing to do with dance, and it's
What? Oh, well.
it's kind of crazy. It's like a more prison thing.
You'll tell me after.
It's about the prison. Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, and then it's about
See, this
after
is where
prison.
they are, these ideas.
It's
This is
after
why
prison.
we're not going to let another one of these shows
Yes.
slide.
And then the third show is actually already in the works in Australia.
No way.
Yes, and that's why I'm talking to you. That's the only reason I came, James. Is you are from
Yes.
Australia. You're gonna have to promote. You're gonna have to
Absolutely.
do stuff.
I'm on that train.
Yes,
Yes,
it's in
please.
Australia. It'll be Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide, maybe. Yeah.
I think everything you do
It's a
is
big tour and it's coming soon because there is so much talent in Australia. So much talent that's untapped, and the kids they don't have a place to showcase this talent. They don't have anywhere to go. They don't have anything to, there's no
Australia
platform.
loves you. Australia loves you, and I
Yes.
feel like that's a nice fresh start. And all of your ideas are very original and authentic to me, so I can't wait to see what you do.
Yes.
I know
and
that'll be good.
And that show's called, you ready?
Yeah.
Dance Wars.
Dance Wars. Watch out for Dance Wars Australia.
Yes.
Abby Lee's coming for you.
So good.
I'm so happy that we did this today. Thank you
Okay,
so
thank
much.
you.
I
Thank
always
you.
love being with you.
I hate that I have to run. I want to stay here
I
forever.
know. Well, we'll come back and I'm going to give you the number of the owners.
Is she a dance mom or a dance con?